Last week we mentioned an introduction to the topic of hell. And we mentioned that this week, inshallah, we're going to deal with it in a bit more detail. Because we're going to have, inshallah, it's half term. And many of our young people are going to be sitting here listening to the khutbah. And many maybe of our sisters may be listening to the recording, inshallah, that's going to be posted, inshallah ta'ala. So we need to know something about this reality of al-Jahannam, of nar, of hellfire, because this is real. Hell is something real. It's not some story or some fairy tale you're going to talk or listen about. This is something real. Every single person here is going to experience or see hell. And we pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah does not allow anybody sitting here today or any of our families enter into hell. However, every single one of us is going to see hell. This is something written, maktub. So we find in the hadith that the heat, the fire of hell, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this dunya, this world, the fire of this world is 1/70, 1/70th of the hell fire, of the heat of the hell fire. Is 1/70th, 1/70 of the hellfire. And in one riwayah, it's 1 part out of 99, the heat of this world. You put your hand in the fire. How long can your hand last on the oven? Or if you light a match, or put your hand in a match, how long can your hand stay there for? However, the heat of hellfire is going to be 70 times more hotter than this. And one man said, if I go to hell, no problem, because I have La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah, and I'm going to be freed from hellfire. This is right. Every single person that has La ilaha illallah in his heart, well, Allah Azza wa Jalla, because of the greatness of this word, al-kalimah, La ilaha illallah, no one's going to remain in hell that has La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah in his heart. It will be removed from it. And this person said, don't worry, I have La ilaha illallah, I'm a Muslim, I'm going to be, Allah will take me out of hell. And this man said to him, come here. And he had a lighter, and he lit the lighter and said, put your hand here. Put your hand here, let me see how long you can last for. If you can last here for 30 seconds, then you do what you want. And he said, are you crazy? I'm not going to put my hand here underneath the lighter. I'm going to bare my hand. And he said, so are you crazy? That hellfire is 70 times more hotter than this. And you can't last 5 seconds, 10 seconds in the heat of here. And when the sun comes out in the hottest countries, in the Middle East, many of us can't last in those countries, too hot. But like when you think about the heat of hellfire, 70 times more hotter than any heat of this world. The least torment, the least punishment that a person is going to have in hellfire, the Prophet has mentioned that this person is going to have 2 sandals. Yes, there may be some clothes. He will have 2 sandals wearing on his feet. However, these sandals, the straps only, no straps. The straps on the sandals are going to be so hot that his brain is going to boil. When you put a kettle, you boil a kettle, and what happens if the water boils? Your brain is going to boil. And the people are going to think that they're the worst punishment. There's nothing worse than this. And they don't know that this is the least torment, the least punishment. You're going to wear these sandals that make your brain boil. The straps make your brain boil. And some people, the fire is going to cover them up to their ankles, some up to their knees, some up to their waists, some up to their necks, and some their whole body is going to be in the hellfire, burning. And the ulama have said that your skin is going to be extended and stretched, and Allah Azza wa Jalla is going to burn. And when your skin burns, Allah is going to put the skin back again, and you're going to burn again. And it's constant burning, 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 until when? There's no end. Until when? There's no end for you. Keep burning, and burning, and burning, and you're going to feel punishment, and there's no rest. There's no rest. If you're going to enter into hell, you think there's going to be a break? There's no break for you in hell. And the people are going to cry. People are going to cry out. The Prophet ﷺ has said in a hadith, if you can't cry, pretend to cry. Because the people of hell, they're going to cry and cry and cry, and it's going to be like streams and hard streams coming down their eyes. And then their eyes are going to dry. And then what's going to happen? There's no more tears. They're going to cry blood. They're going to cry blood. So much blood will come out of their eyes that their eyes will ulcerate and swell. And this is the punishment of the people of Jahannam, of hell. In a hadith we find that the people will be hungry. Drunk. Intense hunger. And this is for our brothers and sisters who may eat haram. If they eating money that doesn't belong to them, or not really interested in if it's halal, don't want to check the ingredients. You be careful, brother. In hell, there's going to be people who are very hungry in hell, and it's going to be torture, and they're going to cry out for help. Help, help, help! Who's going to help? And Allah Azza wa Jalla is not going to give them any help, and they'll be given some fruit. And this fruit has thorns, and they're going to eat it. It's going to cause them big problems. And it's not going to give them it's not going to remove their hunger. لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع. It's not going to nourish nor release them from their hunger. And they're going to cry out for help because they're going to choke on this food. And one of the worst feelings, if you ever had a choking feeling before, it's a very horrible feeling when you choke, you can't breathe. These people are going to begin to start choking. And they're going to remember that in this dunya, when they were choking, if they ever choked, they asked for water. So then they cry out, as they're choking, some water, some water. And some water is going to be brought to them. However, this water is boiling water, nothing else to drink. This choking feeling. And they're going to drink this boiling water. And this boiling water, when they bring it to their face, the skin of their face burns. And they keep drinking because they're going to choke. They have nothing else. And the water enters into their stomach and it burns their stomachs, burns through the insides, and their insides come out. That's all they have to drink. And they're going to cry out, and they're going to cry out and call to the guards of Jahannam, like in a prison. You have guards, they're going to call to the guards of Jahannam to give us some help. And the guards are going to say, didn't we send a prophet sent to you? Didn't the prophet say to you, lower your gaze? Didn't the prophet say to you, wake up for Fajr? Didn't the Prophet say to you to wear the hijab? Didn't the Prophet say to you not to look at haram? Didn't the Prophet say to you to deal nice with your parents? Didn't the Prophet say to you not to backbite? Didn't the Prophet say to you to do all these things or not do these things? And the people, Naam, yes, the Prophet told us. We heard about this. Then they're going to say, we have nothing to do with you today. Then they're going to call out to Malik, who's the guardian of the hellfire, this angel of hell, and they're going to call out to him to help. And he's going to say to them, no help for you today, you're going to remain here forever. And then they're going to remember, let's ask Allah. There's nobody else to ask, let's ask Allah. The angels can't help, the people of hell can't help, we can't help. Let's ask Allah. Allah, the most merciful, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Let's ask Allah to help us. The one who created us, the one who gave us this life. We'll ask Allah. And they ask Allah. And one hadith that says, between each call, when they ask their first guardian, 1,000 years it takes them to reply. And then when they ask Malik, 1,000 years they wait for his reply. And they ask Allah, and they wait another 1,000 years. And Allah Azza wa Jalla replies, don't speak to me today. Today, there's nothing I have for you. I give you a chance. I give you a life. I told you to get up to pray Fajr. I told you to deal nice. I told you not to talk to these girls. I told you not to chase after these boys. I told you to wear the hijab. I told you to make a Fajr. I told you to come to Jum'ah. I told you not to have drugs. I told you not to drink alcohol. I told you these things. And what happened? You chased after the girl. You chased after the boy. You had your spliff. You had your drugs. You had your women. You had your fun. This is your punishment. And our parents need to understand, you're going to be asked in front of Allah Azza wa Jal about your children and your daughters. We need to understand that some of our children waste a lot of time going to places they shouldn't be going to, where there's mixing of men and women. And some of our parents, ya ajab, how can they let their daughters go out dressed in tight clothing, with perfume. Why? And then they wonder why these boys chase after them, or they become pregnant. And if you think I'm making it up, then you have big things coming to you. So we have another hadith in hell. There's going to be scorpions the size of horses, and their sting is going to sting. It's going to make you feel a fever for 40 years. And you think a week of fever, time off work. 40 years you're going to have this fever. And there's going to be a stone is going to be dropped into hell. It's going to take 70 years to drop into hell. And there's 7 levels of hell. The top level is Jahannam. And the last level is Al-Hawiyah. And the top level is for the Muslims. Na'am. The ulama have said there's going to be Muslims going to hell. People who didn't do the things they should do, or stay away from the things, they're going to go to hell. And some of our young boys here need to hear about hell, understand, and leave this mosque, maybe erasing some of these numbers on their phone, maybe changing their Facebook pages. And some of our girls, if they're listening, maybe they change their Facebook pages, the pictures they have of themselves not wearing hijab. Or maybe some of our brothers need to maybe think about where they're going to see this evening, Friday night, Saturday night. Some of our brothers need to think about who they're going to meet after Jum'ah. Some of our brothers and sisters need to think about why they did not wake up Fajr this morning. Some of our brothers and sisters need to think about, are they going to marry this girl or leave her? Having these boyfriends and girlfriends. Need to think about these things. And now we have a big fitna. Some of our young people have religion, alhamdulillah, wake up Fajr. Come to the Jum'ah. They come. But we have a big fitna that we have Dajjal, people who are Dajjals, calling them to do things in the name of the Quran and Sunnah, calling them to do bad things in the name of the Quran and Sunnah, promising them to do things, promising them they're going to go to heaven, they're going to get 70 brides. We have these people, Dajjals in this time, and talking in the name of the Quran and Sunnah. So we have our youth are being attacked from all directions. Those who are not practicing are being attacked. And those who are practicing Hudamat al-Deen have people who are like shayateen, calling them to do things, using them. So they disobey their parents and end up doing things that they think is going to enter them into heaven, and disobeying their parents. And you think you're going to go have 70 brides in heaven if you disobey your parents. It doesn't work like this. This deen does not work like this. Our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, يعني رحمة للعالمين. So we need to have our youth educated. And not to listen to the wrong type of people, these extremists who are laughing at some of our young people, causing them to do things and think in the wrong way, to hate Muslims, to call the Muslims kuffar, and to call these kuffar, to hate. We're meant to call these people to Islam. We're meant to have a rahmah for these people. And if you're thinking when they live in England or Wales, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to ask you about your neighbor, you live next to your neighbor, you went to work, you boys and girls in school, going to school with these boys and girls, you're not going to think about telling them about the Prophet, about Islam. Alhamdulillah, some of our young people, they talk to their friends about Islam, and mashallah, a few have taken shahada, alhamdulillah. But like some of our boys and girls, don't try and be like these people. Because you have the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And just finally, we're going to end in one hadith, inshallah ta'ala, in which Yawm al-Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to order hell to be brought forward. And this hadith mentioned that there's going to be 70,000 ropes, 70,000 ropes around hell. Each of these 70,000 ropes, there's going to be 70,000 angels holding each rope. And they're going to bring it. They're going to bring it forward in front of the people. And they're going to drag it forward. And it needs 70,000 angels for every 70,000 rope to bring it. Angels. And when they bring it, they drag it forward in front of everybody on the Qiyamah. And people on these, and this, it's going to, hell is going to shout out. It's going to roar like a dog or a lion. And the heat's going to come out. And everybody in creation is going to go to their knees and cry. Even the prophets are going to get scared. Except, and some of our prophets are going to say, Nafsi, Nafsi, myself, Ya Allah, save me. Except our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is going to say, Ummati, Ummati. Na'am, your Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, the one who you are following, or meant to be following, he's going to say, Ya Allah, ummati, ummati, my people, save the Muslims, save these people. Yes, they never got the Fajr. Yes, they didn't do the things they should do, but Ya Allah, my ummah. And then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam is going to get up, and hellfire, when it sees the Prophet, Allah orders the hellfire to go back. And the hellfire goes back and goes to the left of the throne. So this is your Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. No better person to follow, no better person to look up to, no hero. Forget these football players, forget these musicians, forget these gangsters, forget these people. Follow your Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Have love of your Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He's told you how to stay away from the hellfire and how to go to heaven, inshallah. And many of our parents need to, with our young people, have patience with our young people. Very difficult for these young boys and girls now. Very difficult. I remember I wasn't too long ago, I was at college, at school. Some of our boys now, very difficult now for a boy not to have a girlfriend. Very difficult. They have been said they'll be called homosexual. You're gay. A lot of pressure on our young boys and girls now to keep their Islam. Alhamdulillah, many of them try. It's very difficult. And many of them, mashallah, they try to get married and they can't find the right woman to get married. And they end up making the wrong mistakes. And many problems. So our parents have to have patience. And if anybody has any problems, then I'm here, inshallah. You can come and speak to me, inshallah. And many of the youth, they phone. They phone and say, you've got this problem, I have this problem. What do I do here? I have this problem at school. People are saying this about me. People are doing this. Some of the girls now are doing drugs. Some of the girls now are not wearing hijab. Some of the girls have boyfriends. What do I do? So it's funny. So if your children can't speak to you, then go and speak to the Imam. And inshallah, what's mentioned to me will remain private, inshallah ta'ala.